by the time I was 9, I was already. I wanted blood. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat things. I wanted to hurt people the way that I had been hurt. That whole summer, I worked cutting grass so I could save up to buy a gun, because that was gonna be the tool that I needed to do my job.
Welcome to another episode of the Powerless to Powerful Recovery podcast. My name's Jason. I'm an alcoholic. As always, our mission is to share experience, strength, and hope across multiple media platforms, the story of addiction and the road to recovery. We're not affiliated with Alcoholics Anonymous or any other 12-step based organizations or groups in any way. And we're back with another episode. And before I go any further, I got to give a shout out to my co-host, Ronnie, no matter what. Ron is in Kipu. Conference is in Beverly Hills at a Kipu conference. Desert Recovery Centers is getting an award, the Innovator Award. If you log into Kipu, you see Desert in the amazing journey over the last 18 months. Shout out to my whole entire team. So shout out to Ron. But today we have a special guest. And if you're anywhere on social media or you have any sort of recovery, re-entry, mindset, motivational, if you have that algorithm, then you know JC. Julio Almanza is here, and I said it right, and I practiced it a couple times with no disrespect, but we have him here today, and it's an honor to have him. Wrong to Strong is in the building, walked the yard with me, motivational speaker, was on the show, he's an actor, Locked Up Abroad, America's Most Evil Gangsters, a new Netflix show's coming out. We can't wait for it to drop. He's dropping some weight, as a matter of fact, to get a new part. Author, got a book on Amazon. The book's called Wrong to Strong, The Chronicles. 4 books in session. He's a mindset coach. Screw Wes Watson. JC is here, man. Welcome to the show. And I know I missed several accolades, but man, welcome to the show.
No, thank you for having me. And it's a blessing to be here, man. I had been watching your stuff way before you even reached out to me.
That means a lot to me.
And I was just like, I liked your show because you talk about real stuff. And I think that's something that in social media right now, there's a lot of fluff and a lot of fake stuff going around. So like, what do they call it? Fake news?
Fake news, yes.
So, pain is real, man. And we should talk about it. We should talk about it and there shouldn't be no embarrassment about it.
And it's like, yeah, okay, you're 7 years sober, dude. I can get up there and be like, everything's, but let's talk about the struggles. Let's talk about how we need each other. Let's talk about the connection. Let's talk about why it's so important to have men in your life, dude, that you can talk to and be vulnerable with. Intimacy is the genuine sharing of one's true self with another, dude. We're about to create an intimate relationship, sharing our true selves right now. And that's how we got here. So you were watching me and I was watching you. And I'm watching the motivation, I'm watching the hope, and I'm watching the videos, and you are everywhere right now, dude. And because God has your feet moving fast, dude. And it inspires me. I'm not one of those haters. I get motivated by people doing their thing, man. So it's just an honor to have you on the show, man. So, but every journey starts somewhere.
Yes.
And your journey started, dude, on the south side of Chicago, brother.
Yeah.
What was that like?
My parents came over. I'm first generation American. My parents came over from Mexico at a very young age. They were 14 when they came over to Chicago, and they had me when they were 16. So they were young. They were young. My dad fell in love with the big city life, drugs, women, became an alcoholic, and the town that we were from in Mexico was a very small town, so you didn't see that stuff. Yeah. So my dad ended up abandoning my mom at a hotel. And I tell people when I share the story, to this day, I still remember the look on my mom's face that day.
Damn.
And it was a look of fear, hurt. She didn't speak English. She had never worked.
Does that motivate you today, dude, that look?
Yeah. It's one of the biggest factors that... I try to protect my mom and my sisters, and I'll go into that later. But it's the motivation that drives me. We had nowhere to go, so she ended up moving in with her brother, and that's where my nightmare started. He was very abusive. He molested us. He drowned me. It was torture. It was rape. It was. He had a room where he would lock me in there for days sometimes. And I tell people it's funny because like through the age of 4 to 9, it's almost like I got prepared to go to prison.
You know, like you were already in gladiator school before gladiator school.
You know, and you know, the drownings were the worst. The drownings really affected me mentally. He would drown me, you know, I would pass out, he'd pull me out, drown me. But I tell people that didn't scare me. What scared me was when he started preparing the bathtub to do that to me.
When you heard the water.
That's what scared me. I would sometimes pee on myself, and you know,
so real, man.
I took beatings from my sisters. I would raise my hand so my sisters wouldn't get affected, but it still happened. And I realized by the time I got 9, I said, you know what? I need to start working out. I need to start getting big and strong, so like this never happens again.
Not anymore.
And I started. That's where I first started, like really working out. Man, I started doing push-ups by the hundreds, thousands sometimes.
Oh, the old. I'm a push-up guy. My first prison sentence, I thought push-ups were going to fix everything. I could do 1,000 push-ups in 37 minutes, okay? Everything's going to be great.
It's like you get out of prison and tell you, what did you learn? Well, I learned how to do 1,000 push-ups.
Right, and I also had a bunch of good ideas. That's what goals are you don't achieve. Yeah. You know, so I definitely relate, dude, but this is on a whole different level. You know, you're talking about trauma, dude, that's pushing you to a place where you got to get strong, dude, because you're already in fight or flight mode at 9 years old.
I tell people I had to learn to turn that off at this age because it was on my whole life, but also it's what saved my life. You know, I tell people if that switch wouldn't have been turned down at such a young age, there was times where I would walk into rooms and there would be some heavy people in that room and I would feel the energy of them wanting to kill me. I would walk out and I would be on a plane. They would be like, hey, where'd you go? And I would be like, I felt that.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
But that's all the training that I got as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, by the time I was 9, I was already... I wanted blood. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat things. I wanted to hurt people the way that I had been hurt. So I became every gang member's best friend in Chicago, and my entrepreneur life started.
Yeah,
I started doing dirty jobs for different gang members. I remember that whole summer I worked cutting grass so I could save up to buy a gun because that was gonna be the tool that I needed to do my job.
Like work boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for real.
So,
yeah, like,
you know, I cut grass and I
my
saved
work boots. Yeah.
$90 and I went and I bought me this beat up ass little 25, chrome 25 that if I didn't kill you with the bullet, you're going to probably die from the infection.
Yeah.
Because it was so rusted.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's where my gang life really started, man, my street life. I was blessed enough to grow up in different areas of the city because my family couldn't deal with me, so they moved me around a lot. My record stay was 3 months. So every
quarter you're moving.
New school, new neighborhood, new gang,
new reputation to build, new things to prove. Would you say that? Yeah.
And the thing is though, every time I went to a new neighborhood, I had to fight for my life because now I was in enemy territory again. So, you know, I tell people I was in training my whole life. Too young. I didn't get to be a kid. I did not get to be a kid. I didn't get to play with G.I. Joes. I didn't really get to do none of that stuff.
But the death started to happen real fast. Like, and you said you weren't going to, and you're not sugarcoating, you never have. And that's what makes you such a powerful coach and motivational speaker because you share that realness. But we're talking about looking death in the eye at 5 years old, or 5th grade, excuse me.
Well, you know, in 5th grade, my best friend got shot and killed in front of me. We were hanging out at a park, just, you know, gangbanging, hanging out, throwing up signs. And he got shot in the neck. He choked on his blood. And I remember seeing the fear in his face, like he was afraid. And I was so scared. I wanted to run. But my loyalty, what I had learned on the streets, didn't let me. So I held him the whole time. And man, that really like changed me, man. Like to watch him just take his last breath. A couple bubbles came out of his nose and he was gone. And after that, it just became normal every year. Every year, one of my friends was getting killed. Every year, one of my friends was getting ran over. If not, I was watching one of my friends kill someone in front of me. And it just got to the point where I became numb to it. Every Friday, I would jump in my car and I would go try to find somebody.
Just go hunting.
To hunt. Yeah. And I tell people that's not normal, dude. It's not normal to think that you could kill someone and get away with it.
But it was normal in the environment you were brought up in.
Yes.
That's Tuesday, dude.
Yep.
That's everything you see, everything you know is that.
Yep. So, I kind of made a name for myself on the street. So everybody was like,
you think, bro?
Man, we need to hire that little dude. They used to call me Green Eyes. They were like, we need to hire Green Eyes. And that's how I got my first job. Valerie, she's married to one of the Flores twins that, put El Chapo away. Yeah. She offered me my first job at 16, and I got my first job with the cartel in Mexico and became a driver. But one thing about me, man, is I'm a go-getter, man. If you send me somewhere, I'm gonna make friends with everybody, and the boss is gonna love me, and I'm gonna do such a good job that they're gonna make me the boss.
Because you're charismatic, dude.
So
you're a leader, dude, and God gave you that gift, and now you can see that we always had it. We just didn't use it.
We used it for the wrong reasons,
right, dude. Now your life today is a representation of that power that God gave you, dude.
And it's funny because like they started me with one car, and by the time I was like the manager of everything, there was 20 cars following me, and I made sure everybody got paid. I made sure everything got unloaded. Everything got to where it needed to be.
Just like a normal business.
Just like a normal business.
Yeah.
And my boss loved me so much that, I started building a relationship with him to the point where he was almost like a father figure in my life. Fast forward, I started getting into drugs. I started doing coke. I started living that whole life, the boots, the hat, the whole narco life. Like
the buckle?
Everything. Not the buckle, just cinto piteado. They're very expensive belts that are made out of pita. They're made out of maguey. So it's a very small, they're like $4,000 belts.
Are we talking like, I don't speak that. So is it an ostrich belt or what are we talking?
No. It's way more than ostrich.
Okay, yeah.
It comes from this plant in Mexico.
I know how expensive those are.
I always tell people, a cowboy getup is not cheap.
No, dude, they're wearing $10,000 worth of gear.
A real cowboy has at least $1,000, $2,000 on his hat, and about $3 on his feet, and about $4 on his belt.
Yeah.
So you're talking some money. Yeah. Real cowboys.
Yeah.
But I got into all that life. I started doing drugs, and I really got into like thinking that was my career. I was gonna be a narco. I was gonna be I wouldn't say a killer. I just had to do what I had to do. I was a survivor.
It was just part of the business.
Yeah. But I ended up getting busted by the Mexican army, man, and
the federales got you.
Man, it was a military checkpoint. And
how old are you at this time?
17 years old.
Yeah, juvenile.
I was juvenile. 17 years old, and I'll never forget that day of my life, man. I was so scared. They hit me in my stomach with the rifle a couple of times. I threw up. I probably shitted on myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I was so terrified because I was in another country. The military doesn't play over there.
Dude.
You can pay everybody off in Mexico except the military.
My parents had a condo in Puerto Peñasco for 20 years.
Okay.
So I got a little bit of experience down there, dude. I speak Rocky Point, bro.
Hey, that's all you need. But
I can get around.
I got busted, man, and the thing is that we couldn't pay them off, and this is what the National Geographic did the special.
Locked Up Abroad. This is Locked Up Abroad, right?
Yeah, they did the special because
17 years old, another country, and you didn't get busted with a gram, I'm sure.
No. No. Once they put me into the prison, I think I was there for 5 minutes, and I had already almost lost my life. They stabbed me for my shoes 10 minutes in the door. Damn. 10 minutes in the door. And I tell people, those 4 years that I was out there were hell for me.
Because you did 4 years in a Mexican prison.
I had to fight every day because they considered me a traitor. They considered me a Chicano. They just didn't like
because you're an American citizen.
Because I am the way that I am, and people like me. I tend to get a lot of haters,
dude. God, I know exactly what you're talking about. And your whole life, you've had people, I guarantee it, that either love you or hate you. And the ones that love you want to hate you, but they love you and they don't know why they love you so much because they want to hate you.
And and it's a gift that God has given me, man, because like right now, like all my family right now that I created, they're all Jewish. And
I just found out that I'm actually 20%. I'm Italian and Jewish.
For real?
Yep.
Okay, then you could get kosher food when you go back. No, not going back. But he built a studio for me. It's a $250,000 studio.
Yeah.
He built it for me. The other one gave me the land. Like all my Jewish people have taken care of me. But it's because I've also been loyal to them and done my part with them.
Yes, that's it.
I got them into the best shape.
People want to help people who want to help themselves, dude. It's the bottom line of it, dude.
Exactly.
But it took us a long time, dude. 4 years in a Mexican. What do they feed you, dude? What do you eat?
It was bad over there. Over there, they give you a cup of beans and a piece of bread, and if you make it, you make it. If not, you don't. And I was telling people, there was some times where I came back skin and bones back to the United States because if I went to go get food, it could cost me my life. At the end of my sentence, while I was there the last days, they wanted to kill me
before you got out because you were getting out.
Well, I owed a lot of. I owed close to $10,000 in drug money.
Couple bucks.
So
that's like 10 million on the street.
When I got there, this is the reason why everybody hated me there. When I got there, the main leader of the whole prison, the whole drug lord, he took me under his wing.
Come here, youngster.
Yep. And I became his number one seller. I became his number one everything. Women, food, restaurants. I had it all. So everyone hated me from his town, his workers, everyone. So they always, any minute they had, they threw dirt on me.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up happening. They conspired against me. They ended up kicking me out of the unit where I was at. They sent me to, and you got to watch the episode. I sent it to you.
Yeah.
They conspired against me. They sent me to the worst unit where all the hangings, the murders, everything happens. And they thought that the prison was going to kill me. But
it didn't.
At the end, that prison, the prisoners, when they tried to come back to kill me because they saw that they weren't doing nothing to me, they protected me.
Wow.
All the poor people protected me until I went home.
Wow.
So
that says a lot about you, your character, who you are, and your true self. Damn, dude.
I just
and so you get out of that. You get out of there. I'm watching that shit tonight, dude.
Don't watch it with your kids. It's rated R.
Yeah. So what happens next then? So you get released from the prison because we're talking about 17 years total, 15 years. I mean, this isn't your first time in Mexican. This is your last time in Mexican prison, right? I mean, catching case. I mean, dude, there's so much, the consequences that start to pile up. So now do you come back to the States and you got fucking real street cred now?
So, now I'm getting transferred over to a federal prison. It's called La Tuna. It's the one that receives international transfers. I get there. It's about 35 Americans. It's the last transfer treaty that America has with the Mexican government. So I was lucky enough to be on that transfer. When I looked back and I looked at all the Americans, you could tell they were all bad. Like their heads, your hair, you could tell that mentally they weren't there no more. So I told myself, man, I'm lucky that I was young and I was in my prime of violence to be able to.
You wouldn't have made it. There's no way you would have made it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I get to the feds, man. I'm 19 years old. I'm the youngest kid on the block. Boston George is there. I don't know from Blow.
Blow.
He's there. A lot of Italian mafia's there. Colombia.
Yeah.
All big time gangsters are there. I'm 19 years old. I'm meeting all these big time people. Guess what happens?
You get big time connects. That's what happened.
I pretty much went in with a high school degree and came out with a master's.
Yeah.
So when I came home in 2001,
how much time total? Right then and there on that
6 years.
Yeah, 3 and 3 just about. Yeah.
When I came home, I ended up opening up my restaurant 6 months later. I bought my house. I thought I had really done it. I was like, oh man, I made the connects. I made it. I got my $1 million restaurant, got my house, chinchilla coats, hanging out with DMX at the recording studio.
DMX is
my daughter, was my daughter's godfather. Rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P. man.
Yeah, he's one of those people that I met that were,
real?
famous but very real.
Yeah.
about his addiction, about his demons, about a lot of stuff. So I get out, and I really think that I have it figured out, because sometimes we think that money is a solution to everything, and it's not.
No, I live my life
because
like that,
I still had money. I had everything. I was a millionaire pretty much, but there was an emptiness in my heart. I was still living like a dry drunk. Mm-hmm.
Because drugs and alcohol and violence and gangs aren't the problem, man. It's this thing and it's this thing, dude. And we use external solutions to fix an internal problem, dude, and it never works.
So, I started moving big weight. I got it connected.
Are you back in Chicago?
Yep, back in Chicago. I'm connected directly to El Chapo's right-hand men now. So I'm getting birds at a discount price, and I'm getting them in by the buttload. So I'm really thinking that I'm living.
I mean,
life.
you probably got everybody in Chicago calling. I mean, are you? I mean,
Well, the Flores were doing a lot of business back then, and that's how I know. When I first met them, I knew right away, like
big time. Yeah.
Then I saw them jump into their Bentleys, and I was like,
okay.
No one in the hood has ever shown up in a Bentley.
Yeah.
So
game changer.
I started thinking that was going to be my life. I was like, man, I made it. This is me. I ended up catching a serious case, a gun case. My own gang set me up at a nightclub, and I got arrested. But the only difference now is that now I had money to hire the best lawyer that Chicago could offer. I hired Juan De Leon. He was best friends with Obama.
Shout out to lawyer De Leon. Shout out.
So like I had the money to hire him, everything. If I wouldn't have had the money,
it changed, dude. In the legal process, fucking changes everything.
It makes all the difference.
Yes,
they offered me 68 years for that gun.
Yeah.
Because it was my fourth gun case.
Competitive, all the things, yeah.
So we said no, then they said 32. And my lawyer was like, what are you guys thinking?
Months? Or you
then he ended up beating the case 6 months later.
Damn.
And I was like, okay. Instead of me...
They gave you a sense of I can fucking do anything now.
Instead of me being more precautious and being, okay, I learned my lesson.
Gas
now
pedal.
I felt like I was a real true gangster.
Beat
Now
a case like Gotti.
Yes.
Like John Gotti, dude.
Now I have the money to back my stuff up. Now it gets real. Couple months later, my own gang tries to assassinate me. I was part of a gang called the Satan Disciples. They shot us up in the car, blah, blah. I already knew that I could not go back no more.
Block was way too hot, dude.
So I do the biggest no-no in a city full of gangs. I turned into an enemy gang for protection.
Yeah, you almost had to.
The leader loved me so much. He's not alive no more, but he loved me so much. He was like, "This is your home, anyways. Come on." So I went back to my old neighborhood and became Land King, and it was just same car, same problems, just different hood,
same pants, different pockets.
Yeah. So finally, one day, bro, it was one day they tried to kill me 7 times in one day.
My God, dude! You
7
live your life.
times.
I can't even imagine what that's like. You looking over your. So I went on like a 3-week. Well, actually, it was about a month in prison where I was that guy just penciling ass whoopings right into his day. Can't get right. I was can't get right. That guy, right? And looking over my shoulder every time I went in the back. Dude, you lived your life like that for like 5 years, bro.
I tell people,
Jesus Christ,
I'm a professional at looking at my mirrors. Yeah. I could tell you if the car is coming fast, if the car is coming slow.
Year, make, model, and plate.
I've trained myself to spot cops 5 miles away, either in the back, in the front, sideways, it doesn't matter. I know everything that's going around. And I tell people it's because I lived that life for so long.
It's a survival mechanism.
So that day, on the very last time they tried to kill me, I went to my brother was in downtown. He was recording with DMX at the recording studio in downtown. And I get there and I'm like, hey, I don't want to live out here no more.
I can't do this, dude. I'm fucking done.
And he's like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, my grandparents are in Phoenix. He's like, well, DMX has a house over there. Why don't you go over there and chill with him? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
And I left that same day. I got here to Phoenix with about 280 grand.
That's how serious it is, though, dude. You jumped right on a plane.
Yeah. No, I drove here. I had just bought a brand new Harley Davidson pickup trucks when they had just came out. I bought one. I loaded it up. I had 280 cash on me. And I came down here. I checked into the Sheraton Hotel off the I-17. Got the presidential suite on top.
Yeah, you did.
And I fell victim to the city of Phoenix because I was not used to. The city of Phoenix provided the biggest demon that I had, and that was sex. I wasn't used to a strip club on every corner. I wasn't used to a massage parlor on every corner.
I hate to cut you off, dude, but I tell directions by strip clubs. My fucking wife hates it, dude. I'm like, oh, dude, 28th Street, Thomas, Bourbon Street. I know where that's at.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking 7th Street.
Band-Aids, Pink Palette.
That's how I tell directions, bro, because you're right, dude. It's everywhere,
and it's
bro.
crazy because, like, I had never seen that. Not even when I went to Atlanta. They got strip clubs out there, but I had never seen 3 miles down another one, 3 miles down another one. Massage parlors, private fetish clubs. I mean, if those first years
and
fed
club
my
encounters.
Yep, yeah, that's where I went. Yeah. So, like, you know, people don't realize that was my first drug because I was raped as a kid. So sex was my first language.
Yeah, man.
So you know, I got really indulged into it, man. I was dating strippers. I was just a lot of bad stuff. Yes. It got to the point where I said, man, I need help for this shit because, like, I was having sex nonstop for no reason. Didn't matter if she was pretty, ugly.
Fuck a two for shits and gigs.
It just didn't matter. Yeah. It didn't matter, man. And it got to the point where, like, I got confused. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, man. For a minute, I was like, am I gay?
Yeah, like, what's going on? Like, it makes you question shit, dude, right? Because
of what happened to me. Maybe I like men. And it started shooting me through this crazy, like, rabbit hole, man. And
are you doing a bunch of coke and drugs the whole time, right? Just that's just part of the lifestyle. We haven't even talked about it because it just comes par for the course.
It's part of the course. Yeah. You know, it's part of the school. And I end up at Charlie's. I end up at Charlie's that night.
Dude, I lived on 7th Ave and Camelback, dude, for fuck. My condo was right across the street from Char's, the blues bar, dude. Right there on Coolidge.
So I end up there, dog.
Great tacos. Those gay tacos are the bomb, dude. They're bomb tacos, dog.
I end up there, man, and, you know, I always tell people, like, I'm not embarrassed, you know. I really thought that's what I had to do to, like, find my happiness. Shit, yeah. And I tell people, I share this because I know that I'm not the only one that's been searching out there. So that day I met a transvestite that day. And I was looking at her, I was like, I can get away with this.
Maybe I can do this.
Her voice is all right.
Maybe I can do this.
And I remember going home that day with her, and I was sitting drinking coffee with her, and I got up and I left, and I was like, I felt so guilty, so like, dirty. Not in a bad way, like to each their own.
Yeah.
But I'm not gay. Yeah. And I was so confused and so hurt.
That trauma, dude, is so deep, dude, in what you've been through, bro. Like,
so, you know, I always tell people I had to self-diagnose myself my whole life because no one was really able to help me. I've tried everything, dude. I've tried hypnosis, shock therapy, you name it. Nothing would help me. You know, I got diagnosed with schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, PTSD at its highest level, all these diagnoses, right? I'm in and out in prison here now. I'm here now. I become a Phoenix Rough Rider. So now all I'm doing is riding my bike all day, doing drugs, having sex with strippers.
Yep.
I had a girlfriend at every Cheetahs, Blitz, Charlie's.
Cheetah's got that little back cage.
Yep. So, like, living that life, man. But I tell people, I was so sad, so miserable inside that I was always fighting with someone. I was always trying to fight someone. I was always trying to get high. It was just, I was so miserable. So miserable. Anyways, fast forward later. I get caught with a couple keys of cocaine.
Just a couple.
I get caught with a couple keys of cocaine. I caught one of my biggest federal cases here in Arizona. I was set up by my brother-in-law.
Checks out.
And, I get sent to federal prison. My first offer was 38 years. Got a lawyer. My lawyer's like, hey, dude, we're going to have to come clean with all your childhood because, there's paperwork to back my stuff up. So he's like, we got to share with the judge. Like, he's like.
That's what they call mitigating factors.
Yeah. Like, he's like, you weren't born bad. He's like, because my lawyer got to know me in the process. And he's like, man,
I like you.
I don't see. He's like, what I read on this paper is not you. And I was like, well, that's what everybody says.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm gonna help you.
Your true self.
And man, we shared my story, man. I shared that was the first time I ever talked about my abuse.
Anything.
Oh man, I started crying.
Oh,
I couldn't get 2 words out.
I was about to say, how did you, dude? When I went to my sentencing for the 8 years, I had, I was in Fort Ave for a year. I planned that speech, dude. I rehearsed it to my cellie, dude. Bro, I got up there, said 2 words. Yeah. Cry, I couldn't even speak, bro.
And that's how I was, man. Yeah. And Judge Silver.
Shout out.
I just met her. I went to go see her at the. She did the inauguration for the people that become Americans. So I went up to her and I shook her hand. And I told her, Judge Silver, thank you for what you did for me because she violated me. I'll tell the story. Yeah. But anyways, I shared my story. She's like, Mr. Almanza, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and I'm gonna give you a chance. But if you come back here, I'm going to send you to the worst place I can. And I was like, bet. Yeah. Let's do this.
I'm in.
So she sends me. I get sent to this campground in Florida, did the RDAP program. It was cool. Got out, got my time.
Federal halfway house, all the things.
All the perks, Get out 2013. I'm ready to take on the world. I came home as a personal trainer, sports nutrition coach. I got my certifications while
because
I was
that's on that prison sentence is where things change.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if you can, do you violate and go back to Victorville?
Yeah, I violate after being out for 2 years.
So that's when the change comes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So pick it up. You get back out of federal prison, you get a six, whatever, you do RDAP, they give you 50%, so you get out in 3.5, you got to do a couple years at a federal halfway house, give them your checks, all the things that all comes with all that. And so you're doing that.
And I get out and I hit it big, man. I get a job at LA Fitness. They make me their master trainer. It's in the Biltmore area, so I pick up a lot of rich clients.
Right
a year later.
Club?
Yep.
It's called, it's a different name now.
Valley, Valley, something like that. Yeah. A year later, I ended up opening up my own gym called Alpha Omega Fitness. I get sponsored by Rich Piana and the 5 Percenters. Everything starts to take off
falling into
again.
place, dude, yeah.
But my drug addiction, still that women, my anger, because a lot of the trauma that I had a lot of. I was always
untreated. It's untreated.
I was always mad.
Yeah.
So I get violated. They sent me to Victorville, worst place ever. I get off the bus and they're already stabbing the dude in the kitchen to death. Like there was blood handprints all over the wall, him trying to get away. And I'm sitting there eating and I'm like, what am I doing back here again?
Do it again.
And you know what I said to myself? I was like, I'm going to die on this one because I'm far from home. There's none of my gang members here.
You were feeling, you felt it.
So I felt it. So they start escorting me back to my cell because they were on lockdown. And the guard looks at my tattoo, the 5% tattoo, and he's like, why you got that 5%? He's like, you part of the Rich Piana crew? I was like, yes, sir. He's like, get out of here. I was like, no, for real. He's like, I don't believe you. Yeah. What are you doing here? I was like, I made a bad choice.
Should have turned left, brother.
Anyways, he goes to his computer. He checks me out. He comes back. He's like, hey, dude. He's like, I saw you online. He's like, man, you're the real deal. And I was like,
yeah, whatever. Yeah, dude.
He's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you went to RDAP. Your points are low. He's like, you're almost 40-something years old, so your points are even more lower. He's like, you shouldn't be here. To this day, I call him my little guardian angel, man. Like, God was really looking out for me, man, because I wouldn't have made it out that yard. He's like, let me make some phone calls. And he called, and yeah, man, a month later, I was heading into Lompoc, California. Low minimum security yard.
Game changer, dude.
I had never, look, I just got the chills. I had never set foot in a minimum yard. I had never seen so many white people in my life. They were out there playing minimum yard. They were out there playing tennis. Like it looked like a camp.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I was like, holy cow. And it's funny because when I got there, I was still kind of like taking showers in my boots.
Yeah.
I was still kind of institutionalized, programmed.
Yeah.
And the guys were like, hey, JC, this ain't that kind of yard,
JC,
man.
don't gotta get down
you
like
could
that.
walk around with your sandals. And I was like, for real?
You set me up? Try to set me up?
So that was the first time I went from surviving into like
living
and letting people educate me. I started hanging around with dudes and they would talk about LLCs, nonprofits, what they could do, government funding, grants. And I would just sit there and listen because, you know, I never went to school. I have a 3rd grade education. I never went to school, barely knew how to read and write. And I listened and I said, man, maybe I could do that one day. I want to feel smart one day. You know, and I don't want to cry.
Yeah. Because this is so pivotal, man.
I always wanted to be someone. I just didn't know how. And when I sat there and I watched all these people that were criminals, but that had done something with their life, I said, man, I could do that. I could do that. So I started paying attention, man. I went and I got my GED, got some college courses. I mean, I got like 30 certificates from everything you could possibly think of. But it was more than that. It was more than the piece of paper. It was proving to myself that I was valuable, that I could be someone, that I could be an asset to this world, not like take from it. You know what I mean? Like I always felt like I didn't belong here for some reason. So, you know, it was a very big turning point in my life, man. And when I came home in 2017, I said, okay, I'm not going to prison no more. So I need to figure out how I'm going to change. And I didn't know how, dude. For real. I tell people I didn't play gangster. I was a gangster my whole life. I didn't know what good looked like. When I came home, my biggest test of school was pressing the button to cross the street and listening till it said for me to walk, and then I would walk to follow that rule. That was my first rule I taught myself from the halfway house. Yeah. Crossing the street instead of jaywalking. Yeah. And I said, I'm gonna do this all the time. And I started doing small stuff like that. Even when I was driving, I wouldn't bust U-turns where I couldn't. I would go all the way around.
Switching
and I told people I had to train myself to do what's right. I had to train myself to make the right decision because I was so used to making the wrong decision that I thought it was normal. Yeah. So like, I guess you could say I took everything I learned in prison and I disciplined myself to become a different person. But everything I learned it from prison. I tell people, I get up at 2:45 in the morning every day without an alarm clock because that's what I did on the yard.
Me too, 4 a.m., bro.
You know, I'm in bed at 6, 7 p.m. every day, no matter what. I don't go to late events, none of that stuff. I'm in bed by 7 o'clock. My last couple hours are dedicated to my wife. I turn off my phone. I'm very disciplined on a lot of things that I do because I know what shit tastes like, and I don't want to ever go back. You know, now that I taste the honey, now that I taste like what life could be, like I'm addicted to it, man. And you know,
oh, dude, hold on, dude. So all those gifts that God gave us, dude, because we have very similar gifts. Being able to make friends and be a leader and be charismatic and have the ability for people to follow you and lead them in the right direction, right? To be able to do all those things, dude, is just such a gift. But there's also that addictive switch that we have. Now, it does not go away. Same with ego, dude. Ego does not go away, especially for guys like me and you. So it's the connection and the attachment to it. So we take that addictive switch, and what we've done, dude, is we've shifted the attachment, dude, to positive things in our life. To business, to professionalism, dude, to relationships, dude, to every single aspect of our life. And we've hit the gas pedal, dude. right? And now ego becomes a motivator, right? If it doesn't go away, dude, then how do you attach to it? I'm going to show you. Come with me, right? Step out of the way, dude, right?
You know, a lot of people don't know this, but I competed in powerlifting my first years that I got out. 2017, I broke 3 records my first year competing in powerlifting, but it wasn't because I was a good powerlifter. It was because I was so mad, so angry that I had the state record here for Arizona. I deadlifted 600 pounds at 189.
Damn.
And I was
Talk about a motivator.
competing, you know, and I tell people I took all my pain and everything and I turned it into a classroom and into motivation for myself. Because I said, you know what, like if I survived what I survived, I can't let this take me out, man. Like, and I'm gonna go back a little bit because the big shift in my life came when my wife walked into my job. My wife walked.
Shout out to your wife, dude. Yeah, dude. My wife, shout out, man.
Savage,
dude.
Mrs. Savage.
Oh, man, dude. To love guys like us, men like us, dude.
Dude, she walked into my gym.
We need great women, bro. We need great women in our life, bro.
I think it was 2019 when she walked into my gym and I was already tired. I was gonna commit suicide that same week. I had already planned it out. I've been very suicidal throughout my life. I've tried the wrist. I've tried the rope. Tried multiple things. Self-suicide. I would run towards people that would be shooting at me. They thought I was nuts. You know.
Fear, trauma.
Yeah. So she came into my life, man, and I remember I was trying to hit on her, and she was like, "You need Jesus," and I was like, "What?" That was the first time a girl ever had told me that. Yeah. And I was like, Jesus. And I was like, oh, you're one of those freaks. Yeah. I was like, never mind. But she ended up becoming my best friend at the gym. I confided in her. She was helping me out with my clients. It was the very first time that I became intrigued and in love with a woman without.
You did it the different way for the first time,
yes,
bro.
Without looking at her looks, nothing. Because my wife is super hot. But it was the last thing on my mind. She was just like me. So we ended up getting together. It was real funny. I was like, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? And she's like, who asked like that?
I don't know. That's what we do, right? I'll pass you a note.
But she told me, move in. And I move in. But she gets to meet the real JC. You know, not a lot of people get to meet the real JC.
Yeah.
She got to meet the JC that got drowned, the JC that got raped, the JC that just had a lot of just murder on his mind. She got to meet that JC, and you know, after putting her through a year of hell, me punching holes in the wall, hearing voices, hearing stuff at night, because I wouldn't sleep at night. I would always hear stuff, and
tremors.
I had to check the house, every room, everything.
PTSD,
and it got to her, you know. 2 years passed by, and she said, dude, I can't help you, man. She's like, I thought I could, but I can't.
Yeah.
And I remember walking downstairs and saying, this is November 6, 2021, saying, man, you know, I'm never going to know what love feels like
if I lose her.
And when I got on my knees that day, that's the first time in my life that I ever asked God to help me. I never had God on my knees. I never was religious, nothing. Dude, I got on my knees, and I don't even want to try to explain it. But something supernatural happened that day, and I couldn't get my face off the floor. I was crying so much. My boogers were running out of my nose. I mean, I was farting up a storm. It was just like my whole body was just like flushing. And I was crying and crying and crying. And all the people that I disliked and I did harm to, I started confessing it. And I remember getting up and I was like, holy cow. I was like, what just happened? And it was crazy to me because all the pain that I have felt my whole life was gone. And I was like, nah.
No way. What's this
feeling? It couldn't be that easy. I kept telling myself, it can't be that easy. And then as time progressed, man, I started like leaning into it. I started really like training. I would get up, read my Bible, study, train. I started a study group on Fridays. And I just really got into it, man. And I started learning that God was teaching me how to become a better man. And he started teaching me morals. He started teaching me even how to love my pets, my cat, my dog, how to treat my wife, how to speak to my wife, how to love on her, even with her shortcomings. Because no one's perfect. Everybody has their own baggage. And I've been in the best school for the past 3 years, man. And I tell people, I put him first now because, man, there's not a day that I don't cry because I remember where I was. I know where I was. And I know what he's doing in my life. And now to see what he's doing with...
I know that.
Dude, I would have never thought I was going to become a teacher. ASU gave me a job as a professor. I called my homeboys back in the hood at home, and I was telling them, they were cracking up, and they're like, we would never saw this coming. And I said, that's God.
And when God, I always talk about this, because God, it is God, dude. And it's that relationship with God, right? And it's understanding what our part is, right? And so it's that 50, and I talk about it, Matt, I'm asking him, he's like, my production's over there, like, here he goes again. But it's that, because dude, I'm a 12-step guy. And so the first 3 steps of the program, dude, at face value are 2 conclusions and a decision. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in treatment again. Step 1, fucking powerless. Yeah. Okay, JC, you want me to believe in God? Okay, cool. Now I do. Yep, did it. I just did it, bro. Okay, now we're going to turn your will in your life, make a decision. You're like, all right, dog, I'm in. And now we're on step 4 and we haven't done shit. Yeah. And it's that relationship and understanding, right? And what that 50-50 really means. My 50% is the action steps each day. God's 50% is the outcomes in my life. If I get up at 2:45 in the morning with prayer and meditation and my to-do list and motivation, dude, and Motiversity's on, dude, and the worship jams are on, dude, and I've already experienced God 5 times before most people hit snooze for the first time, right? And through that, dude, we get the outcomes.
Yeah. People don't realize that everything you put into your body is diet, the music, the movies, the people you hang around with. Everything you put into your body is your diet. It, yeah. So if you listen to crappy music all day, you're going to be thinking crappy things all day. So like I tell people all the time, why do you think that you're still talking like that? Because you're still listening to the same trap songs that you were listening to when you were young.
You want to do different, you got to learn different.
And I told my dudes, look, it's not that I think that I'm better, but I also believe that as men, we need to evolve and grow because, first of all, we already got it worse. Like, we don't mature until later.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So like, man, dude, like, I look at it like this. If you're 30 years old, you should have your stuff together. I have a 16-year-old kid right now that I'm my son, Rudy, that I'm
shout out to you.
I'm really like working on him, and the other day I was so mad because he's so soft. And then I sat down and I thought about it and I said, thank you, God, for him being soft and not like me. Because that was the whole goal, for my son to not be like me.
It's like, wait, hold on. You just actually answered my prayers.
Yeah. But, sometimes we don't see it like that. It's hard to see, because we've been so used to our lives that sometimes we actually think it's normal, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we believe that it's normal. Dude, I hit a house with a car on Tuesday night, dude. On a Tuesday, bro. And so ultimately when we get that gift of pain and desperation and we find a power we choose to call God and Jesus and that power enters into our heart and it gives us that drive, dude, and we use the ego and the addictive switch and the pain, dude, and we start to get motivated, bro. Mm-hmm. And we start to shift those attachments and we start to have different disciplines, dude. And with those different disciplines comes different outcomes, dude. And with different outcomes comes fucking faster footwork for guys like us, dude. And that's where wrong to strong comes in. That's where your acting career comes in. That's where you become a coach. That's where you have a coaching school and an online coaching business, dude. And that's where you write books, plural books, dude. So let's take some time now, dude. Just talk about wrong to strong, dude, and what that means to you, dude.
Man, when Wrong to Strong first started, it started as a fitness brand. Yeah. When I first started it, I was at all the fitness expos. I have videos with the String Cartel and Big Boy, Muscle Cali.
I see. Yeah.
I was very big into influencers and fitness and all that stuff. I really thought that that's what Wrong to Strong was going to be. I launched my own supplement company. I was just doing it. I'm an entrepreneur.
Dude,
I'm an entrepreneur.
I know, dude.
But it fell apart, greedy people. We let women into the crew and they messed everything up. But once I became saved, once I started believing in God, everything started changing, because then I went from being selfish to being of service. And when I became of service,
secret sauce,
that's when people started valuing my knowledge, my education, my stories, my brand, everything. And they were like, hey, we want to team up with you, man. And that's the beautiful part now, that like now Department of Corrections wants to team up with me.
Dude, hold on. He is on the tablets, dude. Shout out to all the guys in DOC, dude. We know how you feel, dude. And we're waiting for you, dude.
Yes.
We are waiting for you.
Yep.
Come be a part of, dude. It's connection. You cannot do this alone. Together we can do anything.
Yep.
To be on the Department of Corrections tablets, I've been trying for years, dude. That is hard, dude. Hard to do. And that just comes from the content, bro. That comes from them believing in your message. That's the only way that works, dude. And going into prisons, dude, I went into prisons on parole and probation, dude. I was on Dakota speaking to the inmates, and you have that ability all the time. What's it like, dude, going back in there?
It's been. I'm not gonna lie. I feel in my realm when I'm there.
It's kind
I
of crazy,
feel at
right?
home.
Kind of crazy, right?
And it's more to do than the prison. It's more like because how the inmates receive me.
The men.
God has really taken all my street cred and made it into God credit. Because I went to Winslow to their level 4 yard last month. And as soon as I walked in, there was two of my homeboys that I knew from way back in the day. And they were like, JC. And I was like, what's up, dog? They're like, you're coming here? And I'm like, yup. And they're like, oh, sign me up. And it's funny because
waiting list.
These are all guys that I led the wrong way back in the day. So now I get to teach them the right way. So if that's not a full circle, I don't know what is.
Dude, it's so much more than that, dude. And if you're listening to this episode, dude, just the power of God, dude, you cannot deny it. If you're questioning whether there's a God or there's a belief in God, if you can't hear JC's story, the life that he lives today, if you don't believe there's a God or a power, he should be dead, right? But he's still here today, man. That's the beautiful thing about it. So we're talking about Wrong to Strong. We're talking about, Netflix, right? So I want to just talk about, I don't know if you can even talk about that kind of stuff or whatever, but dude, you're an actor, bro, right? So just kind of talk about what that's like. You get a script and you're like, you got to like memorize some shit. Like, how does that work, dude?
Yeah, it's a very, even acting is a own monster on its own. You have to learn to not look at the camera, go through the lines and be a little bit more dramatic than normal. So it's
like I took the Law and Order dun, dun, in the background.
I took a couple of theater classes to get good at it.
Yeah.
And
you got to study.
I'm a studier, man. Yeah. I'm a preparer. I map out stuff. I'll show you my schedule. I see you in
the morning, dude. I follow you on Instagram. I follow Wrong to Strong, dude.
Everything's a plan for me.
You have everything like I have lined out in the morning, dude. I've been following you, bro. I love it, dude. It makes me want to get up earlier.
Oh, man. Next month, I go to the women's max prison in Colorado. I'm going to go speak at the Hopes. They have a Hope event. November, I go to Florida, 12 prisons in Florida. They're going to launch my program on their tablets too. Victorious Living, they did a story on my life. They go into about 90% of the prisons here in the United States through the chaplain. It's been nonstop, bro. We just sat down with DOC to create a program for the juvenile department.
Man,
so I sat down and I created
that's where it's at, dude.
It's
like, the juveniles, bro. If we can think about, dude, being 30 shivers, dude, if you look around any, like, I'm a 12-step guy, so that's my, right? If you look around the rooms, dude, we're all over 30, bro. Yeah. If we can get to these kids, dude.
So this is my goal, and I did the presentation to them. If they let me work with the youngsters that are transitioning to adult prison, a year prior to them leaving.
Preparing them.
Okay, start preparing them. And then once they get sent to the yards, now we're putting seeds into the yards. In 5 years, we could change the dynamics of the prison system by applying those seeds every couple of months.
That's right, dude.
Because we're shooting wrong, strong mentors into the system.
You speak my language,
so,
because we're in agriculture, dude. That's what we do, dude. We plant and we water, bro.
Men need to lead men, and these men need to see what a man looks like, not a gangster.
Nope.
And that's what I was telling DOC. You're shooting these kids to adult prison. Guess who's going to be their first mentor? The old guy on the yard that's done a lot of time and is going to teach them all the bull crap. No. Let's make sure that we visit them, we follow them through their whole transition all the way to the end. And guess what? When they get done, they're coming to our home.
And we pick them up.
They're like, wow. I was like, yeah, dude. I was like,
You think we're playing?
This is not a joke. This is war. This is war. And if we don't strike when it's hot, we're going to lose momentum. We're going to lose. It's just like a battle, man. It's just not, it's not a flesh and bone. It's a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
And then people don't want to see it like that because they think that evil is normal. They think that bad is normal. It's not. You see that kid that just got stabbed to death at the Maryville school yesterday?
No. Unbelievable, dude.
I tell people, a lot of those problems start from home. It's obviously something at home. It's not that kid's fault.
No, dude.
I bet you it was all, and this is another thing that I believe a lot of drug addicts and people that get out of prison, they come home from prison and they feel like they read all these books on astronomy and but they have no emotional wisdom, no emotional
regulation.
Yeah. They come home. First girl breaks their heart. They end up back on dope again or make a crime because they have no emotional, they're little kids still.
Yeah.
And men don't realize that affects us so much that makes us make some of the biggest, baddest decisions that we make because emotionally, we're not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, we're emotionally behind. And when you were talking about, getting to those juveniles, dude, and giving them that education and giving them the ability to do things right before they get there and the triple OG picks them up. When I found recovery, I was halfway through an 8-year prison sentence and I was in Florence North Unit. I was on freaking from Cimarron to Santa Rita. I got to Cimarron, dude, and I'm like, oh my God, this is real prison, dude. They're trying to kill each other for tattoos right now, dude. And they're arguing over who's gonna do it, right? And I work my way all the way down. I find recovery. When I start going to meetings, there's like 7 to 10 guys, and then we start getting real, bro. We start getting vulnerable, dude. We become the biggest gang on the yard. There's 60, 70 guys at our meeting, dude. And then what God did is he closed down Florence North Unit. And when he closed down Florence North Unit, that power, that recovery, the application process, what happened was it got spread out to the whole entire prison system. And when each guy landed, dude, they started a fucking meeting, bro. Yeah. And that's what you're talking about, bro. Dude. I just got the chills, dude.
All you need, what is that? All it needs is a spark of fire,
That's
man.
That's it, man.
We have a lot of willing people, and I tell my investors, I want to strictly work with STG, gang members, violent members, all level 4 yards.
You can earn their trust in 5 seconds.
I want all of them to come to the Wrong to Strong training center because we're not going to call it a halfway house. We're not going to call it a rehab center. It's a training center.
Dude, you're damn right it is.
And we're going to implement everything from diet to health to emotional control to even the smallest thing is how to even treat your pets.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, humans just...
Yeah, no, dude. That's all... For a lot of people, bro, that's all they know, dude. And if you want to do different, you got to learn different. You need someone to show you.
And don't get me wrong. I say it because of me.
Yeah. No,
because I never knew what it was to... that was one of the red flags my family saw in me as a little kid. I started hurting animals.
Yeah, that's like a thing.
So when I got my first dog that my psychiatrist made me get, my first dog, Rocco, I was still a little bad. I hit him a couple of times here and there, but I learned the love that he gave me. And after
taught you how
Dude,
to love,
when I put him down, I cried more for him than I cried for any of my homies. I was a mess.
The dog showed you love, dude.
And like he taught me so much. You know,
Action word.
we went and got another dog that same day, me and my wife. But it's things like that I believe that God, you know, has given me back, man. My kids, you know, I have 5 kids, man, and they're all grown. But now they're back in my life. I have 2 grandbabies.
Dude, it's just
it feels great, bro, to like, I still talk to my old boss.
yeah.
Like, he loves my change.
Dude, he respects it, dude.
Like, he's like, man, he's like, we thought
Whoa.
you were going to end up somewhere
you're
there
making us,
or way
you're
over
making
there.
us want to get sober, dude.
And he's
Yes,
like,
dude.
man, he's
God,
like,
it's so
kudos
powerful,
to you,
dude.
bro. He's like, man, bro. He's like, whenever you want, he's like, come to Mexico. And I have a lot of people in Houston that like did time with me in Mexico. They're always begging me to go over there, man. And I my business partner told me yesterday, we walked into the gym and somebody recognized me from 20 years ago. And he's like, you know what, bro? He's like, for someone to recognize you from that long ago and for them to be happy to see you means a lot. It says a lot about your character.
You're damn right it does, dude.
And I was like, and that was when I was doing bad.
Yeah.
I wasn't even doing good back then.
Yeah.
You know, so
Stability, it's just the gifts, dude, that God gave you, bro. And they were always there, dude. And we used them at times, but we figured out how to use them. That's why when we start talking about, you know, changing, well, really for step 6, and I start talking about the willingness to let go of the past, everything from the resentments to the fears to the sex inventory to bringing things from the dark to the light, dude. And when I let go of all that, dude, and I can be the real me and I can go...
But you have to open that door.
You have to.
I told the guys yesterday, I was talking with the guys yesterday, and I told the guy, do you wake up with a Woody? Yeah. And he's like, what? And I'm like, well, that's just gonna tell me if you're healthy or not.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, why are you guys afraid to talk about this stuff? Do you guys have regular sex with your wives? Dude, all this is important.
Talk, bro.
All this is important because guess what? As men, who are we going to go talk to about it? We can't talk to our wives about it.
That's why we need each other so
That's why we
bad,
need
dude.
each other.
I tell everyone, it's family. I love my family. I love my wife. Your support is amazing, dude. But I got to have JC, dude. I got to have Ron. I got to have Matt. I got to have these men in my life, dude, because when I'm feeling frisky, dude, if I call my wife, bro, it'll hurt her, dude. But if I call you, we're going to get to the solution.
You need... Every man, I believe that every man needs man time.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean that we're gonna be out shooting guns. No. None of that stuff. It's being
Connection.
brotherly fellowship.
Connection, dude.
Doing stuff together. It's all training, man. It's all training. I just that Navy SEAL dude. I don't want to mess up his name. Troy.
You seen him tomorrow, right?
No. That's the other dude. I some Navy SEAL from San Diego flew in to like work out with me.
Yeah, man.
And dude, it was the most fulfilling thing for him to tell me when we were done. He was like, man, you would have been a badass Navy SEAL, man.
Ooh,
and I was like,
what a compliment, dude.
I was like, man, dude, you don't know what that just did for me,
I don't think
bro.
there's a better compliment, dude, than someone saying, hey, dog, you could have been a Navy SEAL.
And it's like, he's like, your discipline, bro, your motivation, just how you carry yourself, bro.
Dude,
he's like,
you got all the things.
And you know, it's crazy. I'll show you the video right now, but he's like, I was in the barricades watching your story, and he's like, and I'm over here crying about my stuff, and I watch your story. He's like, dude, you motivated me so much
like,
that I
got
sent it to all my
problems.
other boys. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. God. Like some Navy SEAL dudes are looking up to me.
So cool, man.
Like,
dude, it is, dude, it's a miracle, bro. There's no other way to say it. But that shit only happens if you do your part. We can't sit here and be like, yeah, just point up at the sky. It's just recovery's just like working out, dude. I got to get up every morning. I got to get up early, dude. I got to hit sets and reps, and I got to put more weight on it, and then I got to maintain it once I get to physique that I want. Then when I stop going to the gym, I lose it, dude. Yep. It's the same thing, dude, and you're training every day. So, dude, it's been an absolute freaking honor to have you on the show today, dude. I'm a fan. I'm following you, dude. You're in my support system now, dude. And I love that we can get real, dude. And I paid attention, bro. And I listened to you talk about the animals twice because I know how I know what that really meant to you, dude, because that was huge. Huge to you, dude. And you brought it up a couple different times, bro, because those pivotal moments were the game changers for you. That's where Wrong to Strong came from, dude. That's where Walk the Yard came from. With me, walk with me, not walk the yard. It's with me, dude. Right. And that's where the ability to write books and to put yourself out there, dude. You fucking third grade education, dude, fucking 17 years in prison. I'm going to be an actor now, bro. That's called application. That's called hard work, dude. Getting on the tablets, going to the prison, dedicating your life to God. Self-will versus God's will. That's the $1 million question. You answered it real fucking fast. God's will is to be of service. My will is selfishness. What am I doing right now, dude? Let's not overcomplicate it, man. So again, dude, it's just been an honor to have you on the show. So if anybody who wants to get in touch with you, they want to reach you, they want coaching, they want the mindset school, they want the discipline, they want to be wrong, they want to walk the damn yard with you, bro. Where do they find you at?
Honestly, just Google Wrong to Strong and all my stuff will come up.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I've done pretty good with the search engine.
Yeah, there's a lot on there, man. So yeah, please, man, reach out to JC, dude. Be a part of it. Get some discipline. Ask him some questions. One of the biggest things for me and part of my recovery is every single morning, kind of like I do here, dude, I make a to-do list and I write down everything from brushing my teeth to making my bed to kissing my wife to picking my daughters up from school to doing ponytails and coaching soccer and working and service work. And at the end of the night, dude, I cross everything off, dude. And that sense of accomplishment, man.
Small wins make the big wins,
That's
man.
right, dude. And they do, man. And I'm watching your small wins and I'm rooting for the big wins and I'm seeing the big wins, man. And if you're suffering from mental health and substance abuse and you're seeing this, dude, and you feel that in your heart where you want to make that change and God's talking to you or this power or you don't know what it is, reach out to Desert Recovery Centers. We will help you. I don't care your financial situation, what insurance you have. We will not stop till we get what you need for that help because that window can be this big sometimes. DesertRecoveryCenters.com, Desert Recovery Centers, Jason and Sarah, JC. Man, dude, it's been an honor. So tune in to all the episodes. Gratitude for the listeners. Thank you. We do this together. Recovery is a team sport. So tune in.
Yep.